All right, going live. Prayer and fasting.
And lowing of cattle that I hear
Chief
in my
Malcolm
ear.
holding forth.
Dr. Alim is here.
Did y'all hear what I just said?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Where Doc at? Where you at?
Doctor's here.
Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum salam. How's everyone?
Dr. Alim.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum salam.
Doc, that's you.
I think it's me. So how are you, Chief?
Man, I feel good to be home.
I'm glad you are home. I'm glad Allah blessed you with a successful trip and a successful return home with the entire delegation. Glad to see you. Glad to hear your voice. Glad to feel your spirit.
Praises be to Allah. Hold on, I'm trying to put this on Facebook right quick.
So I didn't mean to interrupt you. You were holding forth when I joined in.
No, this is right up your alley. I was dealing with Saul, and God made him king of Israel, but when Saul disobeyed God, God took it from him, gave it to David, and he was explaining to Saul how he heard the sheep and the cattle bleating in his ears of injustice. And the people was no longer to follow Saul because God took his hedge of protection from around him and put somebody in his place. And I was making it relevant. I was looking at Mustafa earlier, and he was talking about we need to follow what he said, follow the messenger, follow the minister. Said what the messenger says, so go. That don't mean nothing if you mess up and you fall off the law. You don't keep following somebody who has went opposite of what. That's the case. Then we could have kept following Word be Muhammad. We didn't. You know what I'm saying? We did not. You know. But here we go. Hold on 1 second. But we were going through that, but it was a good little.
Yeah, well, that is actually covered in the Supreme Wisdom. I can't quote it exactly. I think it's in the instructions to the laborers. And it goes something like this. It says that do not fear to swear allegiance to your brother. The Holy Quran does not forbid you swearing allegiance to your brother as long as your brother keeps his allegiance. As long as your brother keeps his allegiance, then you keep your allegiance to him.
Swearing allegiance to your brother, as long as your brother, your allegiance to him. Swearing allegiance to your.
I'm getting some playback there, but again, those instructions given to the laborers are very clear, because there's always a period of crisis in leadership anytime there's a shift in leadership. So when Master Farad Muhammad departed in 1935, there was a crisis. Who's going to lead us now? You see, and so someone had to be chosen. And of course, that was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Yes.
And so that was a point of decision for all of the other laborers. Are you going to follow your brother? And of course, the instruction is the Quran does not forbid you to swear allegiance to your brother as long as your brother keeps his allegiance. And of course, the Bible says the same. So that was a crisis point in 1935. The same crisis point came 40 years later, 1975. Okay, on the departure of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, now who is going to lead us? Well, if we follow the instructions given to the laborers, the Holy Quran does not forbid us to swear allegiance to our brother, whether that brother is Wallace D. Muhammad or Louis Farrakhan, as long as our brother does not break his allegiance. Well, it was very clear that Wallace D. Muhammad never swore allegiance to Master Farad Muhammad. He never believed in his father's teachings. So it was wrong for us to swear allegiance to someone who had broken his allegiance to our faith.
My mom didn't do it, Doc.
And it was wrong for the minister to swear allegiance to a brother that had broken his allegiance. So that when the minister recovered spiritually and admitted his fault in the rebuilding effort of the nation, then we could accept him, because he I'm trying to search for a word, but he recovered his allegiance. He recovered his faith. He recovered from his hypocrisy. And he began to resume the mission
Yep, and my mom
that was given to him.
Yes, we did.
And as long as he gave his full allegiance to the beliefs and program of the Muslims, as found on the back page of the paper, as long as he believed what the Muslims believed, as long as he promoted the programs of the Muslims and the wants and the desires of the Muslims, then it means that his allegiance was intact and we were justified in swearing allegiance to him. But when that allegiance to the basic teachings was broken, well, then that means that the allegiance had been broken.
Yeah.
And it means that we no longer are justified in swearing allegiance unless that allegiance can be rectified.
Wow, Doc.
So the statements that I'm making is not statements of condemnation, because oftentimes we notice in life things go wrong,
Yes, sir.
don't we?
Yes, sir.
We notice that people go wrong. Even the best of people go wrong sometimes.
Yes, sir.
They make mistakes. And so that's what the science of atonement is for. When someone makes a mistake, okay, then we atone for that. We don't have to throw rocks and stones and condemn someone,
That's right.
because actually, you see, the key, and I'll close on this point because it's the key spiritual point in the whole dilemma. See, it's actually the crisis that we all collectively and individually are faced with and have to resolve.
Yes, sir.
You see, it has to do with the salvation of one man, but the salvation of one man has to do with the salvation of all of us.
Yes, sir.
See, what is at stake? If the minister called me to his bedside in the year 2000 in November and said that he did not think that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad would be pleased with him if he left the nation in the condition that it was in, would you please help me to reorganize and restructure the nation? Well, that reorganization and restructuring has not taken place. So it means the displeasure of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad still remains against the minister,
Yes.
but in a broader sense against all of us.
Yes, sir.
Because the minister is not the nation.
Come on, Doc.
He said that the messenger was displeased with him only because of the condition of the nation. Well, who's responsible for the condition of the nation except those who are members of the nation?
Right.
Come on now. Yes, sir.
So if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is displeased with the minister because of the condition of the nation, then yes, you would expect the minister to make efforts to improve the condition of the nation. But even if he fails to do it, and the lesson gives a provision for that, what is the duty of a civilized man? And what must be done if a civilized man fails to perform his duty? But whether he performs his duty or not, well, am I a civilized man?
Yes, sir.
Are you civilized?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Well, then what is your duty? What is my duty?
He uncivilized.
Just realize.
And I would ask this question to people who are head over heels pleased with the minister. Why are you so pleased with that which displeases the messenger?
Wow. Go ahead, Doc.
That which displeases the messenger obviously displeases Allah. Why are you pleased with that which displeases Allah? Or why are you pleased with that which is displeasing to Allah and his messenger? And why would you leave that which is displeasing to Allah and his messenger? Why would you leave it in the condition that is displeasing?
Come on.
Why wouldn't you come to your senses and realize it's up to us to change the condition of the nation, change it into a condition that becomes pleasing to Allah and his messenger?
Oh,
Yes,
no.
sir.
And that becomes our work of atonement
Yes, sir.
to save ourselves, but equally important to saving ourselves, we would be saving Minister Farrakhan.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
no.
Praise God.
Beautiful vision.
Don't we owe it to him?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Would I actually be, would I even be alive if it wasn't for Minister Farrakhan?
Come on, Doc.
No, sir.
I mean, I can feel good that I returned the favor and saved his life, but I wouldn't even have been alive
Yes, sir.
Right.
if that man put that gun to my head and I didn't know what to say. Well, who told me what to say?
Come on, Doc.
It was Minister Farrakhan that taught me what to say,
Come on.
that saved my life,
Praise.
that allowed me to grow over these 50-some years, to enjoy life and life more abundantly.
He charged.
So what is my debt of gratitude, and how does it get paid? What's your debt of gratitude, and how does it get repaid? How does the scale of justice get equalized? So it's even Steven. If the minister saved me and saved you, then why don't we save him?
Come on now.
Beautiful.
So the only way we could do that is to change the condition of the nation.
Yes, sir.
So when he asked me in 2000, and we got started in 2001, what was the methodology of the commission for the restructuring and reorganization of the Nation of Islam? It was deliberative dialogue. Deliberative dialogue. And I wrote a little book called A Brief Manual on Deliberative Dialogue. Because dialogue is the way that you resolve problems. It's like if you know how to sing together and make beautiful music, well, dialogue is how you make beautiful conversation. And you arrive at a consensus on truth. You create new knowledge. You create a higher mind, a higher, greater understanding. It operates on the basis of the law of synergy, that the whole becomes more than the sum of the parts.
Yes.
And through a process of deliberative dialogue, the commission created what became known as the Commissioner's Workbook, where we ask all of the relevant questions concerning our nation and presented those questions to the nation. Not with final answers like we are know-it-alls and we got everything figured out. No, here are the questions.
Yes, sir.
What did the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teach us? He said it's a wise God that comes asking questions.
That's right.
A wise God doesn't come boastful. Look at me, listen to me. No, I ask you a simple question and see if you can answer it.
Teach, Doc.
and discover the level of your knowledge and understanding and wisdom. So the commission came like that. Like a wise God, asking questions.
Yes, sir.
And that became the basis of our work over 7 years. And after 7 years of work, we presented 121 program initiatives for the 9 ministries and the 11 task force groups that covered all of the areas of human activity. Well, how did we come up with those 121 program initiatives to flesh out the function of each of the 9 ministries and the task force groups? How did we come up with all of that? Through deliberative dialogue, just by talking about it. I put my 2 cents in, you put your 2 cents in, everybody's 2 cents adds up to a pretty hefty amount. And that becomes, through a process of dialogue, a lawful creation of truth that creates a consensus among us. Because through the process of dialogue, all reasonable objections have been eliminated. See, if someone puts a proposal on the table and you object to it, okay, what's your objection? Well, if you have to withhold it because it's a secret counsel, hey, well, no, put it on the table openly. Open your mouth. Speak. Well, then we examine your objection. We find that it has some merits and some demerits. So we subtract the demerits, the things that don't make sense, the things that aren't true, and we keep the things that are. And added to the other things that other people are contributing to the dialogue, now we arrive at a consensus of a higher truth. And all reasonable disagreement has been discarded. Well, when no reasonable disagreement remains, then that's perfect unity. Don't you see we've arrived at the 8th point of the steps of atonement? Perfect unity, consensus on truth. Not a low-level truth, but a high level of truth. High enough to resolve whatever the problem is that we were confronting with our deliberative dialogue. But that was only possible because we did what? We opened our mouth. So at the present time, at the present day, in the present day crisis, what should we as a nation do? Of civilized people, what should we do? Should we rumor and gossip and backbite and backstab and convene secret councils for sin and revolt? I don't think so. I think what we should do is what we did before. We need to convene a national dialogue. We need to convene a national dialogue and have a conversation according to the rules of deliberative dialogue and arrive at a higher level of truth than where we are right now. Because wherever we are right now is not good enough to satisfy anybody. There's not a single person that I know of. I don't care on which side of the equation you might find yourself, you're not satisfied. You're pointing your finger saying something's wrong on the other side. Well, they're pointing back saying there's something wrong on your side. Okay, well, probably they're both right. So let's talk about it. And we go through the steps of atonement through the process of deliberative dialogue. And then we arrive at solutions to problems that seem overwhelming right now, but ultimately they can be solved. And so that's my suggestion at the present time, that we convene a national dialogue. You know, how many weeks are we from Savior's Day? Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing if in 2026 we would have convened a dialogue that brought a greater sense of unity and positivity and progress into the nation. Suppose that were to happen between now and Savior's Day. then Savior's Day would have a very specific and literal meaning, because it would mean that we would have taken the concrete steps to save ourselves and to save one another and to save our brother. So that's my response to what I just listened to.
Yes.
See, when Saul messed up, when Saul messed up in his disobedience, that's all it was. He was just disobedient. He didn't do what he was supposed to do.
That's right.
That's all it was. Well, you see, then they brought a parade of would-be successors to Saul. How about this one? No. 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 None of them were any good. Then somebody remembered, hey, wait a minute, isn't there somebody out there in the pasture? That's not even in the court here, not even in the big house, not even in the palace, not even where the center of action is supposed to be taking place. Don't know nothing about the politics of what's taking place. Out there in the pasture with the sheep. Who's that out there in the pasture with the sheep? Gonna bring him in. To give him a look over. See what he looks like. See what he feels like. Because maybe he's the one. Since while everybody else was involved in palace intrigues, he was out there with the sheep like he was supposed to. And if he could take care of the sheep in the pastures, hey, well, maybe he can take care of my people. And so that's how David got the crown. By being out there in the pasture, tending to the sheep.
It's true. Man, this is amazing. Very good, Doc. Very good. It's something. You know, sometimes, Doc, most of the nation, they don't like to hear us speak about the minister and his mistakes. That is really one of the biggest mistakes ever, because he's been anointed in a position of leadership over so many million lives. So if some little guy in the back room somewhere makes a mistake, it has its effect, but its effect is kind of quarantined to a little hot pocket of people. But when you're in leadership position like the minister is in, and there is a mistake, it becomes an egregious mistake, because there's too many lives that are leaning on him based on what we've been trained and conditioned to be. So when one of us are talking about some things on scripture and seeing where the nation is and where it should be, most people throw a deaf ear at you and at me and those who will put that on the table, which is nothing more than medication for all of us. If we're not idol worshipers of the minister or idol worshipers of the messenger, you could possibly get past these little hiccups that we have in this journey to be at one with Allah. So I see that, Doc. You can address that.
Well, I would respond to that in two ways. One is to quote the minister's mother, because a lot of years at Savior's Day, I used to have to take care of her along with everything else. So I got to know his mother quite well. And one time she was talking to a sister about something, and I was in earshot, so I actually overheard part of the conversation. And the thing that she said that caught my attention was that you don't have to lie about somebody, sister. The truth about somebody is bad enough. And I kind of laughed. You see, so that's what people get afraid of, Chief, that you're going to tell the truth. See, that's what people are really afraid of.
Ooh, Doc, come on.
That you're going to tell the truth. And the truth is no respecter of person. We are. We bow down to personalities and we salute authority and all of that, but truth doesn't care. Truth is a two-edged sword. It cuts both ways.
Lord have mercy.
So now the lessons say that mistakes shall not exist in the Nation of Islam. So with that in mind, one time the minister gave a speech at Howard University and he quoted the lesson incorrectly. He made a mistake in the way he quoted the lesson. So I was sitting back there, so I always have my notebook. So I wrote a note to the minister and I gave it to Brother Mustafa, who was standing security, to hand it to the minister because he made a mistake. And when Brother Mustafa looked at the note, he refused to give it to his father. He handed it back to me. And he was like frowning at me like, who are you, to point out a mistake that my father made. That's what the look said. So I took the note back and then I walked up myself and put it on the rostrum in front of the minister and interrupted his speech. And he looked at the note and he turned to me and he said, "Thank you, brother. I didn't realize that I had made a mistake. And if I made a mistake, I didn't intend to make the mistake, but I made it.
Wow.
And I thank you for correcting me."
Praise be to God.
In other words, he was saying, if in that particular instance, I was wrong, I wasn't wrong because I wanted to be wrong.
That's right.
That's why we pray that prayer to Allah. Please forgive us if we forget or make a mistake.
Yes.
Do not punish us. We
That's right.
we forget sometimes.
That's right.
We make mistakes sometimes.
Yes.
We don't mean to, so forgive us, Allah. Well, why shouldn't we forgive one another
Praise be to Allah.
if our brother forgets or makes a mistake?
Yes.
Don't you want people to forgive you just because your only thing you say, I just forgot. I just forgot. I didn't mean it. I just forgot. I didn't mean it. I just made a mistake. I wasn't lying. I just made a mistake. And then you're worthy of forgiveness. And so if we start to apply these kinds of principles, you see, we'll see our way out of this dilemma that we're in. That forgiveness and tolerance is due, but that has to be followed up to make it justified by acts of atonement.
Yes.
Forgiveness doesn't come until step number 6. Step number 6 comes after step number 5, which is the atonement. So that's why the commission became known as the Atonement Commission, because it was the atonement for a nation, not just for a man, but for a nation, for us all. Don't you know that if the messenger is displeased with the minister, that he's displeased with all of us? That in his vision-like experience, if the minister was not permitted to even see the Honorable Elijah Muhammad after a 10-year absence, hey, that's a deep displeasure.
Yes.
Well, if the minister couldn't even see him, hey, well then how about us? How do you expect to see him? How would I expect to see him? Your works and achievements aren't as great as those of the minister,
No.
and yet he's still in the displeasure of Allah. Because Allah is setting a very high standard,
Yes.
and you can't remain a Negro and meet the high standard of Allah and his messenger.
That's right.
You can't hold on to the old views and the old opinions and the old ideologies. Or as we pointed out in a previous lecture, you can't even hold on to Islam in the same old way.
That's right.
Master Farad Muhammad and his messenger brings an intensification to your Islam. The lessons ask the question, can the devil fool a Muslim? And the answer is not nowadays. Well, what's the definition of a Muslim nowadays? Do you think that the definition of a Muslim from 14 centuries ago is the same definition that applies today?
No, sir.
No, sir.
You're not a Muslim today unless you are a Muslim follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Come on, Doc.
I'm just telling you the truth.
Allah Akbar.
Because your prayers are not powerful enough. Because you say Bismillah in the name of Allah, but you don't know the name of Allah until the Honorable Elijah Muhammad tells you. Then when you pray in the name of Allah, Master of Arad Muhammad, now you got some power with you
Allah.
because you have the very presence of the Spirit of God with you. Now when you fast, it's not just the Ramadan fast. Now, if you're a true Muslim, there has to be an intensification of your fasting. Ramadan ain't good enough anymore. No, you got to practice how to eat to live. You got to practice fasting each and every day of your life
Allah.
Yes, sir. There you go.
and go to the full extent of it to extend your life
That's right.
so that you live long enough and well enough, disease-free enough,
Allah.
so that you might actually be able to inhabit the hereafter.
Yes.
Sir.
Don't you know it's going to take 1,000 years to completely build the hereafter? That's why Master Fuad Muhammad has to live over 400 years
Yes.
to set this thing in motion in an irreversible way so that he can depart, but the progress will continue for a total of 1,000 years. Well, what portion of 1,000 years do you want to live? I mean, you really have that choice to make right now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to live for half of it?
No,
Or just a quarter? Or 1/10?
no.
I mean, if you lived 100 years, say that would be 1/10 of the way into the hereafter. If you live 200 years, that would be 20% into the fullness of the hereafter. So what percentage would you be satisfied with? I mean, given all of the pain and the sacrifice and the suffering that you've already endured in this life, in the here and now, how much of the hereafter would you have to accept in order to feel satisfied and justified that all your suffering was not in vain? See, that's what you have to decide. And then when you come up with the answer to that, then you just employ the technology of how to eat to live so you end up living that long.
Yes, sir.
So you don't die prematurely.
Yes, sir.
Now, one of the things that I said I was going to close before. see again, what does Master Fuad Muhammad say? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad he said that if I can't change your way of eating, I cannot save you.
Yes, sir.
So you see how people disqualify themselves?
Yes, sir.
See, the people that won't pray 5 times a day, what are they doing 5 times a day? They're eating 5 times a day. So it's your choice. You can either eat 5 times a day or you can pray 5 times a day. But there's a big difference in the outcome. So the reason why people don't pray, Chief, and fast is because they're eating all the time. I mean, suppose you had to eat 5 times a day. You had to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and a snack in between. Come on now, a midnight snack. Come on.
Come on now.
That takes a whole lot of time. You don't have time to pray.
Come on now.
So it's either the 5 prayers or the 5 meals. And if you choose the 5 meals, then you don't live long enough to enjoy even this life, much less the hereafter. See, so it's a self-elimination process. See, there's no need to.
Doc, I wanted to show you something
Okay, go ahead.
because I know you can break this down because this was very healthy. Remember when in February 28, 2022, the minister said that when he was doing the swan song, he said that you sin like when you breathe. You're too comfortable with iniquity. You sin and you love it. You don't even have a conscience not to sin. So I'm doing a swan song for you. But I saw the minister do this right here. It says, if the first fruit is corrupt, then the house is corrupt. And I want to play it for you.
I hope that those who stand behind me will be approved. But if he disapproves of me, he disapproves of you who stand behind me. Because if the first fruit ain't holy, then the lump is not. If the first fruit is corrupt, then the house is corrupt. That's why the woe is so heavy on shepherds. That's why when you want to be a leader of God's flock, you better be careful. Don't fool with that. This is no plaything. We can't play with God and play with religion and play with the salvation of a people who hunger and thirst to be delivered out of their condition. That's death that we're playing with. Or taking fire into our bosoms.
I was looking at him saying that, but when I looked at when he spoke about and on the 28th of last February 28, 2022 at the Swan Song, and he spoke about everybody was sinning. And my question is this: if everyone's sinning, is it because of you? Because you said that if I'm sinning and I'm not blessed by God, then the people behind me can't be blessed because you're following me.
Well, I would say that that's exactly what that means. You see, and as they say, confession is good for the soul.
Ooh,
So that was good for the minister to get that off his chest
yes.
and accept the responsibility. I remember one time during the years of the commission, I used to go to the farm every Tuesday and have a dialogue with the minister about all the things that we were doing and asking him questions about this and that and the other. And sometimes he would ask me questions. And one of the questions he asked me once was, do you think that the way I am teaching causes confusion among the believers? And I said, yes, sir. And of course, we never followed up that conversation. But he was quite aware of the fact that some of what he was saying and some of what he was representing, especially about himself, was confusing. You know, because, you know, how could one man be Aaron and Moses at the same time? See, how could one man be Peter and Paul and Jesus at the same time? You see, how could one man be all of these things? But at one time or another, he, in fact, took on these identities for himself. And my advice to him was just be yourself, brother minister. You don't have to be somebody in the Bible. Those books weren't written about you. You know, just be yourself. And
Yes.
the reason I was saying that in that way was because I was speaking as a doctor. If Master Farad Muhammad identified the King James Version of the Bible as a poison book, my natural question as the physician is, well, what's the effects of the poison? What is the poison and what makes it poisonous? What are the poisonous effects? And after a lot of study, I realized that when people imbibe deeply from the King James Version of the Bible, it makes them forget who they are. And it makes them think that there's somebody in that book. And they start identifying with somebody that's in that book, when in fact, that's not who they are. I remember somebody told me, since the minister's Jesus, well, Jesus had a disciple named Luke, and Luke was a physician, so you must be Luke. I said, you better get out of my face with that stuff. I am not Luke. My name is Brother Alim. And if Luke was a physician and you could bring him before me right now, who would be the master and who would be the student? Would he teach me or would I teach him? So better get out of my face trying to compare me to some old ancient physician that didn't know what to do about anything.
Come on.
And that's the same thing that I said to the minister. How dare you compare yourself to a prophet that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said was the most unsuccessful prophet. Jesus was the most unsuccessful prophet. Jonah was the most successful. Jesus was the most unsuccessful. So why didn't you compare yourself to Jonah? At least Jonah taught atonement to Nineveh, and Nineveh was saved from the judgment. He was the most successful prophet. But you compare yourself to the least successful prophet. Well, the Quran says, soon you will see the ends for which men strive. So if you strive for crucifixion, you're going to get it. If you strive for affliction, you're going to get it.
Yes, sir.
If you call for your enemies to persecute you, you're going to get that.
Yes, sir.
So why call for it? Call for salvation. Call for heaven while you live. Call for the blessings of Allah.
Yes, sir.
There's no time for somebody to crawl back up on the cross and get crucified again. We've already been through that. We don't need to go through that again. It's time for us to ascend, into the heavenly realms while we live.
That's right. Wow. So, Doc,
Oh, wow.
we've been 30 days in a row in Ghana, Africa, and we didn't take the pedal off the metal. So we ran through the finish line. We kicked through the finish line, of that word, and we have a lot to unpack. For the last 5 days, I gave a little premiere in the mornings on some of the things that happened for the first 5 days. It took 5 days to do it, because it's a lot of footage. But we're putting it together. The Chronicles of, let me see it. The Chronicles of, let me get over here. We have this that's coming out extremely soon, in a few days. This is it. Sandra put this together. So everybody, the Ghana Chronicles are coming.
Oh, okay. Beautiful.
So we have that coming up. The Ghana Chronicles. It's so much footage that we just couldn't do it. It has to be a series. The last time we went, a year ago, it was 16 series. And that was within 21 days. Now, this one here is 30 days, and it was more intense than the last one. So it will be more series. And we will have that. We're working on that as we speak. But during the morning times, we have our premieres where we give them the rough of it. The people who are here in the morning at 5. So they had the first 5 days. And they couldn't believe we was putting that much work in it through that day. So they got the opportunity to actually see me step through the days with the people and how many different events. I spoke at 3 schools in one day. They haven't even seen that. and it was thousands of students at each school. You know, there are like 3,000 to 4,000 students in each school, so it was epic. You know, and the meetings that I had with some of the chiefs, I didn't know my cameraman the mic was on. You know, so like old Jesse Jackson's talked about Barack Obama and the mic was on. You know, the mic was on.
Got a hot mic.
So my cameraman, he was just filming everything. So I found, and I didn't never look at the footage until now. 30 days worth of footage. I don't have no time to be reviewing no footage. I'm gone. I'm on the move. My eyes on the prize. So when the smoke's clear, when I'm showing them the footage, I'm sitting there saying, "Hey, oh man, you got that too?" So it's just so much footage, and me and Sandra are working on it.
Well, sounds like you have a documentary in the making.
They're working on the documentary in Ghana, Africa. The one who made the documentary that we had last year, we have another documentary coming. He's doing it out there. And I'm just seriousing it out so that I can explain to the people. And I want you to be in it with me when I'm explaining to the people so that you can, because you already went on the World Friendship Tour, and you could piece this meal together even that much more as we start doing the Chronicles.
Yes, sir. All right.
Ghana Chronicles.
Yeah, sounds great.
Oh yeah, it's some footage. You're gonna really, really like this footage because it's hot. And everybody was really putting in work. They couldn't. They say the speed of the leader determines the pace of the pack. And as far
That's obviously true. That's true.
You know, yeah, they ran with me too. I'm very proud of the prayer and fasting people, the 23 people that showed. They really put that work in because I didn't give them no breaks. You know. Yes, we went all back by, you know, acknowledging some of them that I hear. Brother Casey was on deck. Brother Ernest was on deck. Brother Fatir was on deck. What other brother that was with us?
Sekou
was on deck.
And we didn't get not a one break.
You heard him, Doc?
I heard it.
I didn't give him no break.
Not one break.
They never had, Doc, in 30 days, Doc, they never got a day we slept in. Not one.
Wow.
We didn't have enough. How you gonna sleep in if you're on an hourglass of time?
True. So true.
You see what I'm saying? Who needs a break when we got 30 days to live?
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's the way we took the mission. The Quran says, calls it those sent for. And that's what happened. Allah gave us a 24-hour flight. He didn't kill us. He put us boots on the ground and made us get an A+ out there in Africa and didn't take our foot off the metal for 30 days, and he put us on a 24-hour flight and brought us back and didn't kill us.
All praises due to Allah.
All praise is to Allah. And you tell me Allah didn't have, that was Allah's mission, not mine.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
And all you sisters that came, Sister Sandra, Sister Cheryl, Sister Anna May, Sister Malika, Sister Dion, Sister Alicia, Sister Latif, Mother Ali, Sister Bernetta, you know, who? Sister Latoya,
Sister Amir.
baby, Sister Amira, baby
Shania.
Denaya, you know, it was more. You know, think of, Sister Tracy, Sister Stacy,
Baby.
you know,
Yes, sir.
who? Sister Rose, you know, Mario,
Yeah.
you know, all of you, and all of you who stood back.
So that's going to do it, I think, for
held
prayer and
down
fasting
Nebuchadnezzar.
today.
Come on.
Didn't know what to expect. Hope you enjoyed us. Join us next week and tomorrow, of course, prayer and fasting hereafter, questions and answers.
Brother Tony, we talk. Yeah. Times that we push the line.